Welcome once again to CSIT 208, Multimedia and Web Design. Now this is our second session and we are still going to continue with our introduction to the web. As mentioned earlier, this session is just a continuation of the introductory session we had previously, explaining the basic elements of good web design, and students will be able to learn how to develop effective websites and pages targeted at specific audience and for specific purposes. After completing this session, students should be able to, first of all, explain how search engines work, explain search engine optimization, identify web design tools, and then explain the roles in web design. And the outline for this session are as follows. First of all, we'll talk about web search tools. We'll talk about search engine optimization. We're also going to look at web design tools, markup languages, cascading style sheets. We're going to look at scripting languages, text and HTML editors, and finally, we'll be looking at web design roles. This can also be found in chapter 1 of the reading material, and the reading material is provided at the last slide of this session. So we're going to talk about search tools. To find web pages containing specific information, you could rely on printed directories, word of mouth, or simply browse interesting links. Such methods, however, are time-consuming and unproductive, and can also result in the acquisition of outdated information. Search tools, which include search engines, meta search engines, and search directories, offer a more productive alternative. A search engine is a web-based search tool that locates a web page using a word or phrase found in the web page. To find web pages on particular topics using popular search engines such as Google, Windows Live, Ask, or Search.com, you enter a keyword or a phrase in the search engine's text box on its web page and click a button usually labeled Search or Go. Meta search. The search engine compares your search keywords or phrases with web pages in its database of pages and displays a list of relevant pages. A meta search engine is a search engine such as Mama or Dogpile that performs a keyword search using multiple search engines indexes. A search engine might use a variety of methods to create its website database called index. For example, most search engines use software spiders or robots to browse the web for new pages and then add the page's URL and other information to their indexes. Search tools. Some search engines might also use meta tags to build their indexes. Meta tags, which are special codes added to web pages, contain information such as keywords and descriptive data regarding a page. Other search engines might use information in a website page title. That is the text that appears on the browser's title bar. We go ahead to look at search engine optimization. Search engine optimization involves designing a web page to increase the potential that the page will appear high in a search engine's result list. Search engine optimization tools include meta tags, descriptive page titles, relevant inbound links from other websites, and clearly written text. You learn more about search engine optimization, simply SEO, later in the course. Meta tags. Adding meta tags to your web page and carefully crafting each web page title can increase the profitability that your web pages will be included in many search engines indexes, which are the databases they create of the web pages as explained before, and that your pages will appear in search result lists for important keywords and phrases. Web design tools. Every day, it seems another hot web technology hits the marketplace. a new browser feature, or a wireless handheld device that will revolutionize the way the world accesses the internet. As soon as these new technologies surface, some web designers charge ahead to implement these latest advances at their sites. Without question, true advancements in web technology should be implemented. However, it is important to first determine the merits of these new technologies. As a web designer, you should ask the following questions. Does the new technology meet currently accepted standards for the web development and design? You should also ask yourself what specifically the new technology can do further for the purpose of your website. Finally, how will implementation of the new technology affect the current website's visual appeal, accessibility, and usability? What impact will adding this technology have on security and other website elements? What are the direct and indirect costs of implementing the new technology? And how soon will I see a return on an investment if I should invest in this new technology? After evaluating the impact the new technology will have on your website, you can then make an informed decision about implementing the technologies using the available web design tools. Web design tools. Various tools are available to create web pages, to add dynamic content, animation, and interactivity. These tools differ as to the skills and knowledge required to use them and the results they produce. The tools include markup languages, cascading style sheets, scripting languages, text editors, HTML editors, what you see is what you get editors, and web templates. Next, we look at markup languages. Markup languages use codes called tags to provide instructions about the structure and formatting of a document. The markup languages used to create web pages are HTML, XML, XHTML, WML. We start with HTML, which is the hypertext markup language, HTML for short. It's a markup language that's used to create web pages. The most current HTML standard is HTML5, which specifies the HTML tags must be in lowercase, surrounded by brackets, and inserted in pairs. The pairs are the opening and closing tags. We'll see that later on in the course. The HTML defines how web page elements are formatted and organized using predefined codes called HTML tags. For example, the HTML you see on your screen is preceded with a less than sign, and after that you see a greater than sign. Now the HTML is what we call the tag, and what we use to identify the tag is the less than and greater than sign that surround it. So we have HTML, web page content, and then another HTML. Now we realize that the final HTML has a / after the less than sign, which indicates the closing tag. So as mentioned, we have pairs of tags. The opening tag, which is the HTML with the lower than and greater than symbol, and then the closing tag is the same thing, but this time around has a / right after the less than sign. XML, Extensible Markup Language, is a markup language that uses both predefined and customized tags to facilitate the consistent sharing of information, especially within large groups. For example, using XML, a programmer can define the custom tag serial NO, the short form for serial number, and you can see the opening and closing of the serial number tag containing the information 36533, which just tells us that the serial number is 36533. XHTML. the HTML 4.01 standard has been rewritten to combine the features of both HTML and XML as the extensible hypertext markup language. The X borrowed from XML and then joined with the HTML to get XHTML. One benefit of creating web pages using SHTML is that the web pages display more easily on smartphones and handheld devices, which is currently the most frequent ways by which people access the internet actually. Another benefit is that XHTML created web pages lessen many of the user access issues concerning accessibility and web browsers. Now finally, we talk about the wireless markup language, WML. The wireless markup language is an XML-based markup language used to design web pages specifically for microbrowsers on handheld computers, PDAs, and smartphones. WML uses wireless application protocol, popularly known as WAP, to allow internet access by wireless devices. Cascading style sheets. The primary purpose of cascading style sheets, CSS, is to standardize the appearance of a web page content by applying common styles to such elements such as fonts, margins, positioning, colors, and more. Cascading refers to the order in which different styles are applied. CSS is a popular alternative to hard coding style elements in web pages. The details of CSS will be discussed later. We talk again about scripting languages. Scripting languages are programming languages used to write short programs called scripts that execute in real time at the server or in the web browser when the web page is downloaded. Scripts are used to make web pages dynamic and interactive by adding such features as multimedia, animation, and forms, or by connecting web pages to underlying databases. JavaScript, active server pages, ASP, PHP, which is the short form for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor, with MySQL as the underlying database management system. We talk about text and HTML editors. You can create a simple web page by typing HTML tags and related text into a document created in plain text such as Notepad, the default text editor with the Windows operating system. A text editor is just a piece of software that is used to create plain text files. Some web designers or programmers prefer to use an HTML editor to create web pages. An HTML editor is a text editor enhanced with special features that are used to more easily insert HTML tags and their attributes. Examples are Notepad++ and Sublime Text. Many web designers use what you see is what you get editors, such as Adobe Dreamweaver and Microsoft Expression Web to create web pages. WYSIWYG, pronounced WYSIWYG, stands for what you see is what you get. Inserting and formatting text and inserting images or links in a web page using a what you see is what you get editor is similar to creating a document in a web processor such as Microsoft Word. Additionally, using a WYSIWYG editor to create web pages eliminates the need to learn a markup language. And what you see is what you get editor automatically generates the underlying markup language tags as you insert and format your text, images, and links. Most what you see is what you get editors also allow you to view and manipulate the underlying HTML code if desired. Additional benefits of using the WYSIWYG editors include the capability to create web pages rapidly and the opportunity to become more familiar with HTML at the pace you choose. If you're looking for a professional strength, what you see is what you get editor, to create and manage complex, interactive, and animated web pages, either Microsoft Expression Web or Adobe Dreamweaver will be a good choice. Web design roles. We have three main roles when it comes to web design. We have the creative role, we have the high-tech role, and then we have the oversight role. Now, under the creative role, these are the responsibilities. We have the responsibilities for the content writer and editor. We have the responsibility of the web page designer, and finally the web artist or the graphic designer, as we popularly know them. Now, with the high-tech role, we need a web programmer, we need a database developer, and we need a system or network administrator. For the oversight role, we need a content manager and then a webmaster. The content manager is obviously going to be responsible for designing the content and also reviewing the content that goes into the website. The reference, as I mentioned, is given here. Web Design, Introductory Concepts and Techniques, 3rd edition, 2008.